Alright, just sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
Decent. Pete, you still down in North Carolina?
I am in North Carolina still.
Still. That's what it says right there. Still. It is spring. Welcome to spring, gents.
Woo!
I hope spring's eternal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But in any event, Harry's still not caring about baseball till August. So anyway.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So I saw this the other day. This intrigued me. It was interesting. I want your thoughts on it. Yeah, I like a good French baguette, right? Don't you? Want to make a sandwich? Okay.
As opposed, compared to like a Australian baguette, yes.
Right, exactly. And I saw this meme. This was interesting. It says French baguettes 1 hour after being left out.
Yes,
that's about right.
That's about right.
Yeah, that's looks like a 2x3.
2x3 is about right on that.
I would say that's a hemp fur. Not structural grade. Yeah.
No.
By the way, did you know that was on that's on purpose? The baguette's getting stale.
So you can make croutons.
No, so that you would have to go back to the store and buy another one
more
later in the day.
Well, it's because they're not, unless you buy the baguettes filled with preservatives. And see, out here in Denver, nothing lasts. No bread product. Well, people immediately buy stuff and put it in the freezer. I'm just like, just eat it. You just can't buy a ton of bread. It's not going to last.
It's not going to last.
No, well, that was the whole idea behind the French, bakery.
Yeah, a baguette a day.
Like, my wife will buy a baguette, and she'll just leave it in the bag and leave the bag open. Like we're not eating it that day. We're not going to eat it till the next day. I'm like, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, But she's like, oh, you just toast it and then it gets soft for like 45 seconds.
Right. you gotta eat it in a minute, or it's hard again. Yeah.
Can you guys buy a baguette without eating at least a part of it before you get home?
Oh,
usually there's a little piece missing.
I buy two, one for the trip and one
for the ride home, and one for the
yeah. So I end up cutting it in half and then putting it in plastic or into pieces, and then she'll be like, "Oh, I was going to make a long thing out of that." I'm like, "Well,
then when you make
you don't make it today, it's going to be
then, so
it's going to be stale." So
you can make a long thing. You just got to piece it together now.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Lay them next to each other, make the long thing, and then you don't have to cut it. It's cut already. You just got to cut whatever's the supplies that are on it.
I will say this: adding a little water to it and then microwaving it does soften it up.
Yeah.
You do the same thing in the oven, I
just take a shower with my stale baguette, and it seems
that's good too.
It seems to come right back to life.
I got to put it whole through hanging around my neck.
I just got to. I can't confuse my baguette and my loofah.
Right, exactly.
No, you don't want to take a bite of the loofah.
No.
Scrub your back with the baguette might actually get other areas.
It's pretty good. That's when you don't want to cut into small pieces. Yeah,
right. Exactly. So anyway,
it's exfoliating after a day on the counter.
This is very true. All right, let's do our just a quickie.
Just a quickie.
All right, got a question for you. We'll just start with Pete on this one. With Aaron Rodgers, the Jets will go how far this upcoming season? Like where will they get to? Will they just
they will get
18 weeks.
18
regular season weeks.
No, will they make the playoffs? Will they win a playoff game? Will they get to the divisional round? Will they, that kind of a thing?
They will get to the playoffs
and lose.
They will get to the playoffs.
Oh, fair enough. So
And lose. Yes.
and lose. They will make the playoffs. That's as far
They'll
as
make
we'll
the
get.
playoffs, but go no farther.
Make the playoffs. Harry?
Oh, still so much to learn. I think they make the playoffs and win a playoff game.
Win one playoff game. And I'm going to go with Harry. They're going to win one playoff game. That's where I'm at. So the two Giant fans think the Jets will go further than the one Jet fan.
That's because you are not Jet fans.
There you go. We know not what we speak about. So, all right. Well, there you go. That was
Your optimism is refreshing.
There you go. We tried. That was a pretty damn quick, just a quickie.
Let's not ruin it.
Let's not ruin it. All right.
Let's not ruin it with a lot of talk and stuff.
Don't do that.
Let's just move on.
Let's not ponder the quickness of the quickie.
It's like a one-night stand. It's done. Let's move on.
Right. Find your pants and get the fuck out.
Sleep. Yep. All right. I gotta go. I got a thing. I gotta. All right. We have an Are They For Real? Or we're not doing one this week. When are you?
No.
That last week.
No. All right. Fair enough.
See.
Another segment down. All right, we're cranking along here. Look at that.
Right on track. Number 3 on our list of things we did not review.
Third thing. All right, so we got a lot to talk about with the other things. So let's jump right into our rapid fire quiz, if you will. What do you think?
Quickie 3 questions each?
Quickie 3 questions each. There you go.
All right. I thought we were going to get this down to 2.
Let's get this started. Get the music going. 3 each. 3 each. Just to recap, last week Harry won 3-2. Closest score it's been ever.
I don't know how I did that.
Closest score it's been ever. Okay. So this is the NBA history rapid fire quiz.
NBA history.
NBA history. Well, it was the NFL history.
A long suit.
There you go. So, all right. So, Pete, you go first. You're up first. Here we go. Here are your 3 questions. Question number 1 for RadioPete. Here we go. Which NBA team had the tallest and the shortest players ever? A hint, only because it's not a hint.
No.
It's actually, no.
No hint.
It's not a hint. It's not a hint. It's not a hint.
Houston.
Houston?
I'll say Houston.
You'll say Houston? You would be wrong. That would be wrong. Harry for the steal?
The Golden State Warriors.
That would be wrong too.
It was a Muggsy Bogues and it wasn't Golden State. It was a Western Conference team.
No.
It wasn't, huh? It wasn't the Washington Bullets then?
It was the Washington Bullets, yeah.
Okay.
Muggsy Bogues and Manu Paul. That was the 87-88 season. They were both on the Washington Bullets at the same time. So Manu Paul Muggsy Bogues used to climb up Manu Paul to dunk it in, No, not funny. I thought it was good. But
no,
all right.
Didn't watch much of the. Was it the Bullets back then?
It was the Bullets,
the
Washington
Bullets,
Bullets.
right?
Wes Unseld.
Yeah, I can't watch
Monroe.
a name like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Triggers me. No pun intended.
No pun intended. You don't do that. There you go. All right, Pete. Question number 2. Here we go. Tell us what is a territorial draft pick.
That's a great question. Great question, John. A territorial draft pick is one that comes from within the same division as the team that is making the draft pick.
No. But good, though. I like the way you actually said it as if this is it. Yeah,
I felt like it was true.
It was good. Harry?
I believe it's when a team selects a player from a nearby college, right? And isn't there some sort of penalty or they have to forfeit? I don't know. I'm guessing it is a pick from a nearby college.
Yeah, it essentially is. It's stopped in 1966. If a team wanted to draft a player within a 50-mile radius of its headquarters, they can forfeit their first round pick and draft that player before the draft even begins. So that's a territorial draft pick. Stopped in 1966. Wilt Chamberlain and Oscar Robinson were both territorial draft picks. So there you go. All right. So that's a Harry one. Pete, question number 3. Here we go. Who had the longest NBA career ever?
Are we talking games played or
Seasons played?
No idea. I'll say I don't know, Bill Russell.
I'll be wrong. Harry.
Oh, I love how you. No.
No. All right. Harry.
He's looking it up right now.
I'm not. I'm trying to decide between 2 players.
Detlef Schrempf.
Well,
and
I think Vince Carter, but
Tom Gugliotta.
I'm going to go with Vince Carter, although, I'll tell you, if I'm wrong, I think I got another answer. But
Well, you're not wrong. Of course you're right.
You're right. It's Vince Carter.
Yeah.
and I think wasn't who was? I think he beat out by 1 year the guy, the big center from. Well, it was 1 or 2 centers I think that are after him. I think it's either Kevin Willis from the Hawks or Robert Parrish from the Celtics. But anyway,
I can tell you right now, actually.
Give us the top 5, John.
The
I think LeBron is actually getting close, isn't he?
LeBron is getting close, yeah. Where nope. Hold on. I got it right here.
Oh, and Garnett too. Kevin Garnett, I think.
Yeah, Robert Parrish had 21 seasons. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So Parrish, Kevin Willis, is he up there?
He was up there, yeah.
And Garnett, I think maybe had 20.
20. Garnett had 20. Vince Carter had 22 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
And I think if Carmelo played this year, I think he would have been in his 20. I think he would have played 20 years.
That would have been his 20th. Yeah, this would have been his 20th. So, all right. All right. Now we move over to Harry's 3 questions. Harry, question number 1: Who held the record for the most 3-pointers before Steph Curry? Steph Curry
of all time.
Of all times. Currently, Steph Curry has 3,331 3-pointers.
Right. He passed Ray Allen.
He passed very good. He passed Ray Allen. All right. And who, by the way, so Ray Allen's in second place right now. Who just this isn't a question for you, but who's in third place? Ray Allen's in second place with 29.73. Who's in third place? It's not a question. I'm just seeing.
Is he still playing?
Mm-mm.
No,
he is not.
I
hope not.
don't know. Reggie Miller?
Is it Miller?
Right, Reggie Miller. Very good. Yep. Reggie Miller is 2,560. So clearly, Steph Curry blowing the hell off those doors.
Well, and keep going. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easier to hit shots when nobody plays defense. But
this is very true.
Plus, the guy is just like he could. They should just put a 6-pointer in. It's just like
he can get the rebound, turn around, and shoot it. You know.
Yeah.
All right, Harry. Question number 2: Who was the first black player in the NBA?
Knew this. It was... I can't remember. I know it's not Bill Russell, but it's Nate Floyd. I don't know. I don't know. Nate Floyd, something like that.
Nate Floyd. That would be incorrect.
Yeah.
Pete for the steal.
I'll say Larry Bird.
Are you kidding? Or are you?
No, I have no idea.
No idea. Okay, you're both.
No,
wrong.
I'll say. What did you say, Nate Floyd? I'll say Harris Floyd.
Harris Floyd. No.
Okay.
Nope, you're both wrong. It would be Earl Lloyd.
That's close.
Earl Lloyd.
I could picture the name. I didn't know. Nate Floyd.
Earl Lloyd. He was drafted by the Washington Capitals in 1950.
Oh, there you go. He was a hockey player.
There you go. Right. Exactly. He was, exactly. All right. And Harry, your third question. Here we go.
I thought I just answered 6.
Here's your third question. Which conference has won the most championships?
Eastern or Western, right?
That would be correct.
Get it wrong. There you go.
Get it wrong if he wins one.
Well, no, you said it was correct, so his answer was correct. He wins.
I'm gonna go with.
Wins
I'm gonna go
5-0 this
only.
week.
I'm gonna go with the Eastern, but I'm gonna go with the East.
You go with the East. It's close. It's 40-36, and that would be the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and I just because the Celtics played in
Well,
the East.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay?
The Lakers have almost as many championships.
Here's the thing. The Eastern Conference. There's been the Eastern Conference is the is correct, but there's been 76 championships. All right, 76 championships. So half of 76 is 38. Correct. Between the Lakers and the Celtics, they've combined to win 34 of them. So just those two teams have won almost half of the championships. It's
Yeah.
crazy. 17 each. 17
Yep.
each. So I put that one in there. Just they're 50-50. If you got it wrong, Pete, you had one. So,
they're tied.
Question wrong, Pete.
It's 17-17. I thought the Lakers were ahead of them now.
17-17.
I would have said the middle conference.
The
anyway.
middle.
conference.
I can't say Western. It's the Western. Wrong, Harry. Pete, what do you got? Middle.
Middle
Mid-Atlantic.
conference.
Mid-Atlantic. Yeah. Okay.
The MAC.
Interesting.
I would have chosen the
The
MAC.
Big 12.
The Big 12.
All right. Am I done with my 6
Yes.
3 questions?
Yes, we're done.
All right.
You're 6 of 3 questions. Well, that's only because you had other ones from Pete. So.
Okay. All
All
right.
right, so there we go. All right, cool. There we go. That's today's rapid fire quiz. That was actually pretty quick for this
Let's
quiz.
again.
We're moving.
We're moving on. All right. That brings us to our top 5 that we're doing. Our top
Alrighty
5.
then.
Top 5 today is top 5 Hall of Fame caliber, and there's a reason we put that in there. Hall of Fame caliber. I did air quotes for those of you listening on the audio podcast. Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks that played very good for 2 different teams.
Wouldn't it
Could be
played-
better
played-
than for. Could be
played
better
very
for
well?
one or very well. Fine, played very well. Okay, played very well. They didn't have to excel at both of them. It could have been
Okay.
much better on one, but
All right. Okay.
here we go.
Go ahead,
I
John.
just changed
I want to hear your top 5.
Here you go.
Oh,
Played
well, now I got
very
to redo
well.
the list.
Yeah. I just had him as good, not well.
I just had very good. not very well.
Played very good. Very
John,
good.
I want to hear your top 5.
You want to hear my top 5 first?
Yeah.
All right. In reverse order,
From 5th to 1.
from 5 to 1. Number 5, Fran Tarkenton.
Ooh, good one.
Fran Tarkenton. The Giants sucked most of the time that he was on the team, but he played really freaking good. He made the Pro Bowl 4 or 5 seasons with the Giants.
You're absolutely right. That's a good one.
He played very well for the Giants, and
I
of course,
forgot
went to
about
3
him.
Super Bowls with.
He just never won a Super Bowl.
He just never won to 3, but he never won one. Yeah. Number 4, Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Smith played great with the 49ers and then played pretty damn good with the Chiefs as well.
I think he's very good, not very well.
I think you're right. He's a very good one. It's a very good one. Number 3, Kurt Warner.
Yep.
Kurt Warner played great with the greatest show on turf with the St. Louis Rams. Played 9 games with the Giants, and then played really good with the Cardinals. So there you go. Right. Number 2, Harry's favorite, Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah.
Can put that up there. He obviously far surpassed his play in Denver with his play in Indianapolis. But he
had his best year in Denver.
But he had his best year. But he had his best year in Denver. I mean, overall in Indianapolis, but his best year in Denver. Yes, you're right. And then number 1, and this is the only reason that caliber was put in there in air quotes, if you will, Tom Brady. Yeah. The GOAT. There you go. So that's my list. Who's going next?
Pete, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. All right, I'll go, I guess from 1 to 5. Why not?
All right.
Because it's more fun that way. So Brady is number 1, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton is number 2.
Yep.
That's Peyton Manning. And, yeah, look, they won a Super Bowl in Denver. So,
went to 2.
They're by the way, they're the only 2 quarterbacks to ever win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams.
With 2 different teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Warner is number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Great with St. Louis, and then went to a Super Bowl with Arizona, right?
Went to a Super Bowl with Arizona. Yeah, came close to winning.
Almost the 3rd guy on that list.
He was great with the Rams.
Yeah, I considered Tarkenton also. Who else did you have? I had somebody else.
Alex Smith.
Oh no, I didn't consider Alex Smith.
Alex Smith was 4. Trent Tarkenton was.
Alex Smith is a deep cut, and I think
I think
you need to check yourself on that one.
I put my number 4 is Broadway Joe Montana.
Yeah,
I know his career with the Chiefs was not long.
No, but he was a Pro Bowler. Yeah, he was a Pro Bowler.
And he went to the Pro Bowl, and they did go to the AFC Championship game. Right. And that wasn't the last stages of his career. So, and then number 5 is Norm Van Brocklin.
Nice,
nice one, Norm Van Brocklin.
I think he won a championship with the Rams and went to the Pro Bowl, and then went to the Eagles and sucked, but then came back and beat the Packers in the championship game in 1960. So 2 titles, although they weren't Super Bowls, with different teams for Norm Van Brocklin.
Very good.
Well, I've got Brady and Manning number 1 and 2. I took it very literally and only picked quarterbacks that played for 2 teams. So Kurt Warner's not on my list, but I'm not sure. But I'm just gonna go through the rest of mine. So I got Joe Montana number 3, and only because he is so good that he's got to be on this list. I've got 2 other guys at the bottom of my list, not at number 4 and 5. At number 4 and 5, I got Drew Brees.
I thought about Brees too. Yeah,
I thought about Brees.
Had decent years with the Chargers before he became and is number 2 all time in passing yards. So I mean, I got to put him on the list. Yeah. And then a guy that you got to put on this list, Brett Favre. I mean, again, he's technically probably off because he technically played for 3 teams, but yeah. So I don't know.
He was your Kurt Warner of your list.
I also yeah, exactly. And I for a minute I had Steve Young on this list, but then he didn't really light it up with Tampa Bay.
No, he didn't. I'll tell you why I had Alex Smith on the list, because I knew one, if not both of you, were going to have Joe Montana on yours. And I just think Alex Smith he was a really good quarterback, and he got a really raw deal out in San Francisco because of Colin Kaepernick and Jim Harbaugh playing around with that. He was a really good quarterback. I mean, a year earlier than the year that Colin Kaepernick went to the Super Bowl. I mean, think about it. The The 49ers were a flubbed punt away from beating the Giants in the championship game and going to the Super Bowl with Alex Smith. So
yeah, he was a great game manager.
Yeah.
You know, he falls into that category. But yeah, he did. You're right. You know,
and he had great years in Kansas City too before Pat Mahomes, kind of took over, obviously. But he didn't get a raw deal there. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. But I wanted to get him on the list, and I figured both of you would have Joe Montana on it. Great Norm Van Brocklin pulling out there.
And I technically with Favre, I'm not meeting my own criteria with the just two teams, but I wanted to get Alex Smith on there, and I thought about Drew Brees, and I wanted to put on there too, but I knew neither of you would have Fran Tarkenton, and I had to be a homer for the Giants, and
I almost put Tarkenton on, yeah, but
I like Tarkenton,
yeah.
So there you go. There's our list. That's great. Quick question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, the only two quarterbacks to win Super Bowls with two different teams, right? Who was the first NFL quarterback to go to a Super Bowl with two different teams? But I'm sorry, take a team, play in the Super Bowl with two different teams.
Okay.
The first one to play in a Super Bowl with two different teams.
Two different teams. Played in a Super Bowl with two different teams.
Craig Morton.
Craig Morton falls into the same criteria as Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner. He did it before Warner, though. Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
He went with Dallas and lost.
And you just mentioned this like 2 wewith ago. That's the only reason why I know.
Went to the Super Bowl with Dallas and lost to the Colts when Charles Haley was the MVP and on a losing team, and then obviously got traded to the Giants. Horrific on the Giants, and then went to Denver and took Denver that year after leaving the Giants to the Super Bowl. So there you go. Cool, good list. I like that. That was a good one. I like that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Harry, got any old balls?
Worded, but good.
Strangely worded, but good. Harry, you got any old balls for us?
I don't. But I mean, this whole list is old balls. So
this whole list can qualify as. There you go. Yeah, got to play it. All right. Cool. Well, that was a lot quicker than I thought it would be.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Seriously, we're cruising right along here. We're under a half an hour,
and now we got a 45-minute over under.
There you go. RadioPete, before we do the over under, you got any oddities for us?
Well, I wanted to maybe bring up. Let me. Well, I got. Do we want to do the odd Olympic rules?
You wanted to do them at one point, right? You did want to do them. So.
I mean, I think we need to save that for our anniversary show.
Well, no, it's just there's a bunch of them. We could just do 2 or 3. I'll just read them off.
Yeah, I think we should have an odd Olympic rule of the week.
Odd Olympic rule of the week. I like that. I actually do. Read 2 or 3 tonight, and then we're going to do it.
Yeah, we'll start off in a couple. Get us rolling.
Let me give you a couple of because we did a few. All right, these are real quick. Okay. BMX riders have to keep their shirts tucked in, or else they get disqualified.
That seems really odd.
It does. Well, it seems kind of counter, right?
I mean, the compression shirts as they are, it's not like they're out and flailing around. It's like, what's the difference, right?
I didn't know they were pants. I didn't know they were pants.
I thought they were
because the pants and the shirts are matching, so it's hard to tell where.
That's right.
Anyway, we all know this one probably, but I just wanted to mention it because it's unfair. You can't do a backflip in figure skating.
Well, yeah. Who was the French skater?
Surya Bonali, who did one anyway in 1998, and she was disqualified, I think.
God, was that 1998? It's that long
98,
ago?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hers is an amazing story. There's a documentary about skating and a small section of it about her and what an amazing athlete she was, and how she got screwed.
Was that the one in? Was that the one in Japan? The Olympics in Japan?
I think so. Nagano.
Nagano. Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a pretty ridiculous rule.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things that like no one else could do it.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, yeah, and if you skate well and you don't fall down and you do a backflip, you should probably win, right? You do the required elements and you throw in a backflip.
You should at least be able to throw one in.
Yeah.
I mean, just think if what's her name could have done a backflip, she could have avoided the knee whacking she took from Tanya Harding.
There you go.
Nancy Kerrigan could do a backflip. She
could have backflipped out of the way.
She could have backflipped her way out of the way. Yeah.
All right, let me throw one more at you. This one is truly strange. If you are a swimmer and you set a world record at the Olympics, what must you do? I'll ask as a question. What must you do in order for it to be officially recorded?
Take a drug test.
It will not be officially recorded unless you do this.
Take a drug test.
Say it one more time.
Nope. If you are a swimmer at the Olympics,
right,
and you set a world record, it will not be officially recorded until you do what?
Pee in the pool.
Take off your goggles.
No.
Take off your swimsuit.
You have to submit.
Take a shower.
You have to submit the record.
Mm-hmm.
Submit the record via an old technology.
Fax machine.
There you go. Exactly. You have to fax in the record to the powers that be, or else it won't.
Isn't that hard when your hands are all wet? And you probably shouldn't be operating a fax machine near a pool.
I was going to say, I think that created the fax.
I was wondering why there was always a fax machine next to the pool.
I had to fax in the
record. You see, they take the team picture, and you have 8 people in swimsuits. And then one guy's just wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Is that guy a trainer? No, that's fax boy.
He's fax boy.
He's from
in case we set a world record, then Jerry runs over and
he's from Office Max.
So.
There you go.
Yeah. So there you go. That's it for this week.
I like it.
Yeah. Right. I got one actually I want to throw up there. A couple weeks ago, we talked about. I had gone down when I was down by North Carolina. Stopped at the stadium in Washington, in Landover, in Maryland, for the Washington Commanders, if you will. So, not that this has anything to do with that, just the team. I'm going to throw this up really quick. I'll read it, so I'll put it up there. But I want you to look at the feather. Now, this is the old Redskins helmet, right? So, I'll throw this graphic up. There you go. The only season Washington would wear the tucked feather, the feather usually went the other way. This one, it went underneath, was 1982. It is said that the equipment manager made the change because the design adhered to the helmet better than the standard Redskins logo with the materials of the time. The only exception being the aptly named Joe Washington, the running back, who wore a Kelly clear shell helmet and stuck with the standard logo for the season. The logo was a one-year wonder as they would go on to win the Super Bowl 17, as it were. You would think, now you see it, right? You would think that they changed the logo and made the feathers get tucked in, and then went and won the Super Bowl. They'd stick with that. No, they didn't. They went it the other way. So
So Joe Washington wore a clear helmet?
He wore a Kelly clear shell helmet. So in other words, the outside of the helmet was a clear shell, and then the burgundy was on the inside. So there was a coating on the outside.
So there was something that kept the logo and it kept the logo in place.
It kept the logo in place better than
on.
Right, exactly.
So that's a decal that they stick on the outside of the helmet.
That was I think they all are, right. I don't think they make the helmets. I don't think they're dye sublimated helmets that have the logo right in it. That's a sticker. I think they still are. I mean, they still apply stickers.
Really? I would think they would spray it on, or
it's still stickers, still decals.
Well, I mean, it's not like
better decals. It's not like an old sticker from 40, 50 years ago. They're better, obviously, the materials they make.
When did they change their logo to Joe Theismann's leg going in 4 different directions?
That would have been a couple of years later, right? So,
87,
85 was the.
But that wasn't the only Super Bowl they won in the 80s, right?
No, they won in. They won in. They won in. No, they were in 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. They won that one. They lost to the Raiders a couple of years later, and then they beat the Broncos the year after the Giants beat the Broncos. So they were in 3 Super Bowls in the 80s, won 2 of them. And then they won one.
But your point is well taken. Like, we changed the logo and we won the Super Bowl this year.
It's not just
and
because they won
the helmet better.
It sticks to the helmet better, and they won the Super Bowl. Why would you change it back?
It seems like it looked better too.
Right, it actually did. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's too late now. Now they're Commanders, and the only thing that's tucked is their balls.
There you go. All right. Over under time.
Over under.
Over under time.
All right.
Under.
So
Pete's Bucks over under. There we go.
I'm jiggling. Let me show you the plastic cup.
Okay.
Which is these things have been in the family.
How many?
Probably almost as long as I've been alive.
How many dimples that over unders? How many dimples are in each cup?
They not only get used for drinking, but they get used for storing things like pens. I don't want to show you too much. This is a cup full of pens, which I'm going to keep moving so that you can't count them.
All right.
How many pens are in the cup? The over. I got to write the answer down. Not the over under. I'm going to write the answer down.
We'll believe you.
Well, I can count them too.
That's true.
I know how much you love that.
It's not like there's 80 pens in the cup. So
Let's hope not.
God. The over under for pens in the cup is 12.5.
12.5.
12.5. Who goes first?
Let's let Harry go first.
I'm going to go under.
Which is good because I was actually going to go over.
There you go. There you
go. Yeah.
Good gentlemen, please have the over. I'll take the under.
All right. Well, I feel like I want to count them.
I knew you did.
Count away.
Well, we got a short show, so all right. We got a 1. We got 2. We got 3. We got 4. We got 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pens.
Wow.
There you go.
There you go.
That was good. Well done. Well
There you
done,
go.
gentlemen. I didn't even have to write it down. Well, I did.
No, you didn't.
So there we go.
There you go.
Look at my hands for the rest of the day.
I was going to say, move the camera back up.
Pete's hand modeling.
There you go.
Remember the Seinfeld episode when George was a hand model?
Yeah.
That was a good
Great
one.
episode.
Or the woman with man hands.
That was the same episode as the puffy shirt, which led to his hand modeling.
His
career
hand
being
modeling
very
career, right?
short-lived,
Exactly.
yes.
Right, exactly. So,
Alrighty.
Alrighty. Well,
good job, guys.
good job, guys.
Let me just throw one thing out.
Throw it out
be
there.
a
Throw it out
long
there.
topic of discussion, but I don't imagine you guys watch a lot of British soccer.
No, I've been watching a lot of British baking.
Once in a while.
Okay.
Once in a
there's
while.
Once in a while.
Football, as they would.
Yeah, football. So there's a program called Match of the Day.
Hmm.
And it's one of the hosts is a guy named Gary Lineker, who is one of the all-time great English soccer players and a fantastic announcer and all that. So recently, the Tory party of the English government put forth some, you pick your own word, draconian, harsh restrictions regarding immigration policies that they wanted to enact. And Gary Lineker criticized them on the air and said that the kind of language they were using was something that might have been heard in Germany in the 1930s. Didn't use the word Nazis, didn't say Hitler, just said that it was appalling and disgusting, or what, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, and reminiscent of Germany in the 30s. The head of the BBC, the general operations manager, I forget what his name is a Tory supporter, and he quickly suspended Lineker, yanked him off the air. Now, Gary Lineker is an absolute icon, not only as a player, but as a broadcaster. He probably, some stories I've read say he probably makes like more money than everyone else on the show combined, and he's everyone loves him, I guess. And it was the reason I bring it up is because I think he was suspended on a Friday or Thursday or a Friday, and Match of the Day comes on Saturday. And Match of the Day is a legendary show. It used to be basically the only way that British fans could get clips and highlights from the soccer show. It's kind of like, remember This Week in Baseball?
Right.
Right. Way back in the day, you couldn't watch all the games. So that was the importance of this show. There's really nothing quite like it in U.S. history. So basically, over that weekend, all of the announcers in the booth and the sideline, all the people who worked for the BBC, the announcers, they didn't show up for work. And the coaches and members of the teams didn't answer any questions from any of the BBC beat reporters, but all the television announcers just showed up. That did not show up. So they showed games. Remember they showed the football game years ago with no announcers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, all of the games that weekend were shown without announcers. And the highlight shows didn't have any announcers. No one was announcing anything. They all, in solidarity with Gary Lineker, stayed away from work. And then he was reinstated. This was 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. And he was reinstated, I think, the following Monday.
I thought maybe
and I just wanted to mention
Bean
it.
In there.
Yeah. Because
it's not shocking. It's appalling. It's not shocking that, I'm not surprised that something like that went on, because you hear shit like that with on-air personalities, and some of them deserve to get canned by all means, but some of them, I mean, it's so ticky-tack. Come on, who we placating here?
Usually it happens in the opposite direction, though. This was more of what I would say a more accepting, I would dare I say, progressive view of the situation. And so, yeah, good for him and good for the rest of the folks who. Yeah,
that's the point I want to make. Good for him for, look, you can say keep politics out of sports and all that, and that's okay. But I mean, some of these, I think that, I know a lot of people criticize award shows and stuff when celebrities get up and, make a statement about politics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I kind of like people who are brave enough to do that, whether I agree with what they're saying or not, because they have a platform and they feel passionate about something, as long as they don't go on and on and on. But here's a guy who stood up for something pretty terrible, and the boss didn't like it, and said, "Okay, go have a seat." And all of his colleagues said, "No, you bring him back, or we're not coming back." So that's why I wanted to bring it. I thought it was great, and I don't know if we have anyone in this country who would do that to that extent, and B, I don't know if he or she would have the support of their
peers,
compadres in the field. You know what I mean? I mean, can you imagine every NFL crew?
No.
Just
we also have
taking the weekend off.
Yeah, we also have a way bigger group of media personalities with a way more diverse and, should I say, if we actually had somebody who spoke concise sense and wasn't looking to just basically make controversy for he wasn't making controversy for controversy's sake.
This is something
which is what I applaud. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So
cool.
Good for him and good for them.
Good for him. Good for them. Absolutely. Also, go ahead, Bob.
I said very good.
Very good. Also want to bring up the fact that next week, on the 29th, next Wednesday, we'll be doing our opening day, pre-opening day MLB show. So it'll be all baseball all the time, if you will. So we'll talk about all teams. We'll talk about the divisions. We'll talk about we'll do our picks for.
I'm not talking about the Mariners.
I don't talk about baseball till August.
Well, we'll talk about baseball. We'll have to do your picks. We got to do our picks for the divisions.
Can we talk about the new rules too?
We throw out the new rules too. Yeah, we'll talk about those.
We'll talk about 3 innings of a game today. It's great.
Yeah.
As much of a purist as I am.
You watch about three.
Along.
You watch about 3 innings of a game. Only took 15 minutes, right?
It didn't take that long. I wasn't clocking it,
quick.
but I was like,
it was quick.
Now, of course, I got bored.
Right. Well, it's because of the game you're watching.
Attention span. Right. But normally, it probably would have been an inning and a half, and then so
exactly.
You know, I think there was one hit in the 3 innings.
Makes sense. So.
I like pitchers' duels, but not in spring training.
No, you want to do that. So. Anyway, so we'll talk about that next week, and it'll be a good show. So make sure you tune in. All right. On that note, we'll wrap this show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, just search the Get On With It podcast. And of course, our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you that want to just listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Keep watching all the sports. We'll talk to you next week for our MLB Spectacular. Have a great one, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.